Have you ever experienced something divine?
I have.
As far as God-wise?
I certainly have.
It's a difficult thing to identify.
Are we talking about drugs here?
When I was young, I at one brief moment, I don't know why it happened, but one brief moment I did believe that I had some spiritual experience, that there was something higher than humans in this world. I only had it for 1 second, and it was fleeting, but it lasted for about, I'd say, a minute or two. I don't know where it came from, why it came. It was like a bolt of lightning. I was just outside, and all of a sudden I looked up at the sky, and I just felt like there was something very mystical.
Yeah, I turned around, I was in a wheelchair for 2 years, and now I'm able to walk.
What happened?
Constantly kept getting blood clots in my legs, and then my leg blew up as big as my stomach one day. I had to get an operation on it. And from then on, the doctors turned around and said I wouldn't walk. But I kept trying, and God says do the work, and it'll work.
At least from my particular perception, I would perceive it as being divine, that part of myself that transcended my sense of self.
I had an allergic reaction to a drug called pethidine. Apparently I stopped breathing, and there was all these complications that was during that. And I can remember that classic story where people talk about going towards a light in a tunnel, having an experience very similar to that.
At some point I became very preoccupied with the concept of faith, and I really wanted a faith experience, and so I started reading the New Testament. I was sitting in the bathtub one time, and I felt like I had this transcendent moment of understanding where I realized that nothing was ever going to be right and nothing was ever going to be complete, and that incompleteness is the fullest salvation that there is, and all are saved, always. All entities are saved, all entities are part of the whole, and in being part of the whole and in exhibiting for their flashing moment of existence, whatever flash they exhibit, are rescued and preserved forever, but that paradoxically that preservation comes through dissolution, and that they're the same thing somehow. I didn't quite put it to myself this way, but it got me really preoccupied with God as a concept and as a person.
I don't believe so. I thought my cat had died, and then I thought I saw the ghost of her, but my cat hadn't died. It was just her.
When I was a seminary student here, I had the incredible fortune to go down to El Salvador. Towards the end of the trip, we had the opportunity to attend a mass in the tomb of Oscar Romero on the beautiful cathedral, the center of San Salvador. And the day that we went there, it just so happened to be the day that Pope Francis announced that Oscar Romero would be beatified. And so the priest who was leading Mass made this announcement at the beginning, and this hush just fell on the room, which is not something that happens a lot in Latin American Christian traditions. It tends to be pretty loud and vibrant, but there was this moment of almost complete silence, and then it was broken, and people started singing and crying and praying, and you could just feel God moving through the place in a tangible, palpable way. You could reach out and touch it.
One time I was in the second row at church, and I was just sitting there in this row, this pew, and I was just sitting there like, God, this is so stupid, why am I doing this? And the priest touched me on my shoulder, and I was like, okay, this is weird. And then I just felt some crazy shit go through my body, I just felt really hot or something. And then I was like, okay, I think this is real.
I've been to certain churches or revivals, and how you feel the Spirit of the Lord in the place. I mean, it's real, and you get that chill up, that feeling up your spine, you can feel God's presence, it could be somebody sing a song or something, and you get that little chill run down your spine, but.
I'm a mother, and giving birth to a child is way high on that list. Giving birth to a child it's indescribable. You can't really put that into words, that process.
Definitely, I would say divine. I mean, when my kids were born, that's an experience that 100% takes you out of yourself. Because like that's another life that you created. It was inside of you, and it just came out, and now it's in your arms.
And also being in love is a close second.
I was at home in my room at like 3 in the morning after going a couple of sleepless nights, really in despair and about to have a kind of depressive breakdown by myself, basically. And out of the corner of my eye, this like weird light started to appear, and it kind of like it was glowing brighter and then dimmer and brighter and dimmer. It appeared to kind of be breathing and not like just blinking like a firefly or something. Like it was breathing, and then I saw a form in the light. This lasted for like 3 seconds, but while it was lasting, like time slowed. I was like filled with love and warmth and strength and courage and hope. As soon as it faded away, I immediately, like, the floodgates opened and I just like burst out pouring tears of kind of like ecstatic relief. I mean, I've been overwhelmed by the beauty of, or the intensity of life around me, of being alive, of kind of participating in a moment or witnessing a moment that is just incredibly powerful, or seeing something that was so unexpected and beautiful and remarkable. But I don't know if any of that really adds up to divinity.
Divine makes me think of like a source, a bigger source that's, I guess, directing what we experience here on Earth. And I have had an experience of getting a glimpse of what that looks like. Because of synchronicities. I've been experiencing synchronicity in a really beautiful way.
Generally, I experience the divine when I am outside, not confined within buildings and walls and parks in particular. When I get the opportunity to go on walks, that's really when I feel the most connected to the divine.
I'm going swimming in freshwater lakes. I experience that as baptismal and yeah, something very divine.
Well, I think that the most divine thing I've ever experienced was when I fell in love, and that felt like very divine, and you know, I could feel this warmth in my chest and being connected to everyone at the same time.